It's Danny
Yeah, not
Collective
bad.
here for Seconds Out, former two-weight world champion David Haye. David, how are you?
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. It was all right until someone kicked my laptop at me. Yeah, not bad. All's well, mate. All's well.
The perils of interviews in the new normal is how it is, I think. So I wanted to ask you, there's a big heavyweight night coming up next week on BT Sport, of course. Starting with probably the most highly anticipated all-British fight this year. I know there hasn't been a lot of competition because of the pandemic, but it's still a highly anticipated fight between Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce. And I just wanted to get your take on it. And does it compare to any of the fights you had in your career? Is there anything, maybe the Macronelli fight, for example?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably as close to the Macronelli fight because me and Macronelli, although we were both contesting for world titles, the WBC, WBA, and unifying with his WBO title, we were both, as far as the public scene, we were both kind of on a very similar level, and it was a 50-50 fight. That's how it was portrayed to the fans and through the media. And I think this is similar. You know, we sold out the O2 Arena. This fight sold the O2 Arena out twice. You know, so it shows their pulling power, both of their pulling power. That, you know, at this sort of British, Commonwealth, and European level, they're doing world championship numbers in terms of ticket sales, but obviously with the pandemic being what it is and venues not allowed to host fans sitting in seats, it's an unfortunate thing for the boxing fans, because that would be everybody knows that fight was going to be, you know, the atmosphere would be insane. It would be completely, it'd be a cauldron in there. Both fighters let their hands go. Neither fighter has ever tried to stink out the joint. They both got ultimate confidence. Both the teams, I like what I'm hearing from both of their teams, because it's supreme confidence. Both fighters, and they've taken this fight for a fraction of the money they potentially could have done if they were the type of fighters to leave it a year and a half, 2 years down the line, wait for one to maybe win the title. But both of these fighters are not about that. They're about, you know, wanting to prove. It's about bragging rights. The 1 and 2 on the planet, you know, Joshua and Fury, you know, they're the title holders, you know. But you've got this big space beneath that. You had Dylan White getting knocked out, you know, a few weeks ago. That messed things up. You know, you had Chisora putting forth a great effort against Usyk. So underneath that, you know, these two are the next big things. These are the guys who you would anticipate challenging and potentially winning these big world title fights. There, you know, Dubois, particularly his age, 23 years old, not a foot wrong. But then on the other hand, you got Joyce, who's 35. He really needs to let his hands go. He really needs to show the world what he's got very, very fast. Dubois can take his time. Dubois could theoretically take 2 or 3 years out and, you know, do what he wants, and there will be no effect on his career. But Joyce, I believe the pressure in this fight is on Joyce's shoulders, as he's the Olympic silver slash gold medalist, depending how you that final. But he's done it, you know, European, Commonwealth gold medalist. You know, he's, you know, world championship bronze medalist. He's done it all as an amateur. He's been in there, the WSB, fighting good quality opposition, and he's conditioned his season now. He's fought the former world champion, you know, Bermain Stavern, and beat the life out of him. It was sickening to watch. It really was. Bludgeoning him. It was. I remember watching it, thinking, at what stage is the referee just gonna? It was almost as though Joyce was purposely prolonging the beating.
Yeah.
It was quite unsettling. I'd like to just take someone out real quick, but he really wanted to punish him over them rounds. So he's got the experience. The Jennings fight, I thought, was a brilliant fight for him. You know, a fight against a live opponent, a tricky guy who that left hook to the body in the first round that seemed to win Joyce.
Yeah.
Is Dubois' money punch. For me, I think his left hook to the body is his best punch, and the fact that Joyce got hurt with it will definitely make him condition his core, get that right hand down, get that right elbow down, so he's not susceptible to that big shot that Dubois throws, that he got hurt with in his last fight, or the fight before last, when he went to Arena against Jennings. So I see the experience fully coming on Joyce's side, but then the youth factor can't be ignored. A 23-year-old man, you know, he reminds you kind of a Mike Tyson, where he's just peaked really early, and he's just that guy who can just let his hands go. And every time we've stepped him up in level, he's risen. The only guy to go the distance, I was ringside for that one when he fought Kingpin Johnson, and Johnson wasn't really mixing it up. He was there to survive. He's a seasoned old veteran, been there, done it. Vitaly Klitschko, he's been in there. He's been in with all of them, and he knows how to look after himself. And I think the only person to really blast him out was Anthony Joshua. And I think he was having a go against that Joshua fight. But that just shows the experienced man can creep the way through it. But anyone who's tried to win against Dubois have got knocked out. And I just think the power is there from Dubois to take anyone, any heavyweight out. And that includes Tyson Fury. That includes Anthony Joshua. If someone allows this young man with so much youth and so much vigor to just unload, he's going to get you out of there. So it's all about can you negate those early onslaughts from Dubois. I think Joyce has shown in the past he can, and he's shown in the past he can't. His last fight, I was really underwhelmed against Wallish, the way he was eating those right hands. And I said that after the fight. I didn't like his weight. I didn't like the fact he was, you know, a stone, more than a stone over what he should have ideally been weighing. Everybody understands we had the lockdown, we've had the pandemic, you're not allowed to go to the gym. But still, if you're a professional athlete, you need to live a professional lifestyle. So I think that he would have watched his last performance, him and his coach, Ismail Salas, Steve Broughton, they would have watched that and thought, you got the win, but it wasn't about the win. We all knew he was going to win. That should have been a preparation for Dubois. You should have come in and worked on what we're going to work on for Dubois and just implement it. He didn't. He just got the win. How he'd get the win as an amateur, just walk out there, just use his physical advantages. But his physical advantages could get him in trouble here if he just tries to walk down someone as heavy-handed as Dubois. So although I lean towards Joyce with the experience and with the sort of the long-range boxing ability, which I've seen him use in the past against Ustinov, I thought he was brilliant. Yeah. I really thought he boxed at long range, the jab. That was when he was working with Adam Booth. You know, he was really getting those like long range jab. But in his last fight, I didn't see any of those jabs at all. I just saw him walk forward. So we need to. So I definitely think we need to. We need to see what's happening behind the scenes. We need to get into the camp. We need to talk, hear what their coaches are saying, what the game plans are. But it's a very, very intriguing fight. That, you know, if I had a gun to my head, I would go with a guy with more experience. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dubois was to show us something he hasn't shown before against this caliber of opposition, and he puts those shots together. The left hook to the body, remember I said that, is his favourite, is for me his biggest weapon. Everyone looks at the big right hand down the pipe, but the left hook to the body is an absolute peach, and I think it's the best. There's not many people who throw a left hook to the body in world boxing like Dubois does.
Now, you worked with Joyce for a long period at the start of his professional career, but would you say Dubois is more in line with your style than Joyce?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, no. Dubois just has a rock solid style. It's kind of a textbook style, neat, tidy, gets his head off the line, jabs tidy. He doesn't bounce around. He doesn't have a low left guard. He's not trying to show us any flair. He's just getting the job done in clean and clinical fashion. That's just what he does. He marches you down, uses that jab, breaks the body down, slows you up, and just puts the intensity on you. You know, that's not really for me as a boxer. That's never really been my style. I'm more of a counter puncher. And when Ismail Salas came in to train Joe Joyce for his early few fights, we tried to loosen up. We know he can walk forward and throw left and rights like a machine. We've seen him do it his whole amateur career. But I know I've seen some real good long range boxing ability. He's got good reflexes. He's explosive. He can stand there and do a backflip. You know, he's very, very explosive. So he was trying to bring some of that explosivity into his punches, because he was kind of very, very much an arm puncher, just left, right, left, right. But when he was moving, he showed some flair. He was working with a Cuban Olympic legendary coach, Ismail Salas, And he really started getting off. His head was moving. He was slipping and sliding. And I could see some real nice progression. If he gets back to that type of flavour, like he was doing, he's brought Ishmael Saz back into camp. And, he's a great tactician. He understands, how to break different fights down and what styles to implement. I definitely feel, Joe will not be walking on to big right hands just for the sake of it. But if he gets caught, clipped with a shot, everybody reverts back to type. And if Dubois is able to catch him clean early and cold, and Joyce is able to weather the storm, it will be a toe-to-toe slugfest straight away, because Joe's defence is offence. A lot of the time when he gets hit, instead of thinking to himself, I got hit with that shot, next time I'm going to block it, I'm going to roll, he just thinks, destroy, and just walks forward, just going forward. And for us fans, it's fantastic. But, in terms of longevity and taking fewer concussive punches, when he gets clipped, he's all about the seek and destroy.